on in, y'all. I know you coming. I know y'all coming.
Let's get these things out the way.
Yep. Hey, I'm here. Give me 1 second. I gotta make this pin. Yeah, we're here. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to go deep with me? Today is going to be a good one. Thank you for the compliment. Okay. Today is going to be the best one yet. And I say that biased. I'm biased about that because, woo, man. Ooh. I'm very biased about today. I'm very biased about today. So let's get quiet. Let's get still. Let's get settled. And let's get just all around loving ourselves. Holistically, let's begin to love ourselves holistically. That means mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, touching yourself, physiologically, biologically. Let's begin to love ourselves. Today I want to talk to you. Today I want to inspire you. Today I want to bring to you the Deeper Into God prayer and meditation session today, once again, and we are getting closer and closer and closer to now what is the end of the series. But don't worry, because I am bringing more back. I am bringing new series back. And so today I just want you to just get quiet, because I want you to really hear me today. I want you to really hear me today as we petition God. As we petition God today to move on our behalf. As we petition God to act on our behalf. We are petitioning God to do something that we ourselves believe that we're incapable of doing. But I'm here to tell you that you are more than capable of doing this, because God is not something, someone, some place outside of you. God is right within you here. God is in you. God is with you. God is over you. God is beside you. God is all of you. God is you. God is all of you holistically. And so, I had people say to me and wonder, why do I do this series and preach about and speak about God like this? I say, don't you know? And they said, no. I said, because you're God. And they don't understand that when I speak of God this way, they think that it's a far-fetched conclusion that God is not to be somewhere in us. And I'm like, nah, it's actually not a far-gone conclusion. Draw nigh unto me, and I shall draw nigh unto you, is what I read in the good book. And that means to draw near to God, and God will draw near to you, right? And so here's what I want you to do as you draw near to God, because today we're petitioning God to move on our behalf. And so when we draw near to God and God draws near to us, what we're actually asking God to do is, and I'm talking about God from within, not God out in somewhere up in the sky, but God within. And so we're asking God to come in. And so let us really just dive into the prayer, okay? Because this is what I'm here to do. My job is to get you to learn and practice a prayer life, because prayer is when you are talking to God. Meditation is when God is talking to you. And so we got to be able to channel today's message for you. And today I want to petition God on your behalf to say, write a new story. Write a new story. So with a surrendered heart right now, surrender your heart to the moment. Surrender your heart to the moment and just open yourself up, because I want you to understand I'm only here as your friend. I'm not here to hurt you or harm you. I'm here as your friend. I'm here to laugh with you and be open with you so that you get well. That's what I'm here to do. If you didn't understand, I just broke down the word flow. Be your friend, laugh with you, be open with you so you get well. Flow. And so we're going to flow today. We're going to be friends. We're going to laugh. We're going to be open. We're going to get well. And that's where we want to go. And so in order for us to get well, we got to petition God. And so God, I'm here asking right now for my people, for you, for those watching and those who will watch later. I am petitioning you, God, right now to act on the behalf of my people, to act within them, to act around them, to act outside them, to act innately in their minds and naturally in their being, so that they can begin to walk in this new stage that I call write a new story. And so when we are petitioning God, we ask that you show us in the vision. Show us within us. Show us from within. How do we do that? How do we write a new story? How do we begin to put away the old chapters? How do we begin to turn the page? How do we begin to see what no longer serves us and say, okay, that's no good, let me write a new story now? How do we begin to attach ourselves to that new change? And God, this is what I'm asking that you reveal within us. How do we attach ourselves to that new change? And we must begin to write a new story. And so you have to write a new story. You have to not be afraid to put the pen to paper and write down what you believe you came here to do. Write down who you believe you are. You must not be afraid to put pen to paper, to put idea to put thought to idea and idea to thought. You must not be afraid to change over, remove and release what no longer serves you, and change over. Have a change over, have an overhaul of a story. And so I always like to think of when you write a new story, it's like when you go to your closet and you got all these clothes and these outfits, your wardrobe is sitting in your closet. And these clothes right now, they may fit you. They fit you now. But a year later, you may have gained weight or lost weight, and they may not fit you. And so you have outgrown that wardrobe. And because you cannot change clothes from one outfit to the next outfit, thinking that, okay, my size changed, but the clothes didn't, so therefore I'm going to just change outfits and think that by changing outfits I'll fit in the next one. No, you changed. Your size changed in difference. And so you cannot change outfits. And so therefore you must exchange outfits. You must exchange your wardrobe for a new wardrobe. You must exchange your wardrobe, old wardrobe, for a new wardrobe, because what's in your closet now no longer fits you. What's in your life now no longer fits you. What's in your life now no longer serves you. What's in your life now you cannot change. And so you must exchange. That means you must do an overhaul. You got to do an overhaul. God, oh my God. I'm petitioning God today for you. And so therefore you must do an overhaul of your wardrobe. You must exchange. You must overhaul your wardrobe. You must exchange out of your closet what no longer fits you. Out of your life what no longer fits you. Out of your life what no longer serves you. Out of your life what no longer can take you to the next place. So you can't leave the house until you have clothes that fit you. So you can't get anywhere until you feel comfortable in what you're wearing. And so this is the same relative to life. You cannot get anywhere. God is speaking right now. You cannot get anywhere in life cannot get anywhere in life. You cannot get anywhere in life until there's a complete overhaul and change of your mind. You must begin to change and write a new story. So God, help us. Help us with the ideas right now. Help us with the thoughts right now. Let them come in. What are you saying? What are you saying, God? We want the thoughts and ideas to come in right now. What are you saying, God? So that we can begin to channel those ideas. So we can begin to channel that idea, God. And write that new story. So we can channel that idea of ourselves. Who are you? What are you? And if you don't know, it's okay to detach from the thing you did know and attach to a new story. And so I posted on my Instagram, I said, you are the experiences of your truth. Or your experiences are your truth. No one can know what you know because only you know what you know through your experiences that made you know. And so only you can know through your own experiences what you know. No one can know what you know because no one, not one soul can sit here and say they identify with you. And to say identify is to say, I've been through the very same thing. I am as you are in a sense. I've gone through the very same things in life and experienced the very same aspects of things in life that you did. And that's impossible. No one can experience your experiences but you. No matter how we experience them. And so we gotta write a new story. It's time to write a new story, beloved. It's time to get rid of what you wrote down in your journal last year and who you thought you were. If it no longer fits, if it no longer qualifies, if it can no longer be validated like a parking ticket, if it can no longer be validated, it's outdated. I know I just said something right there. Let me say that again. If it can no longer be validated, then it is outdated. And you need to update. Oh my God, this is the poet in me coming out. If it can no longer be validated, then it is outdated and you must update it. Oh, God is helping me today. Yes. So you must update it. And it's time to update you right now. It's time to update. It's time to put pen to pad and say, yeah, you know what? It's been that time. I've been noticed for a long time. I've been noticed for a while how the things that I was doing was no longer getting me anywhere. And for the next foreseeable future, I got to make sure that I am in full control of every capacity of my life. I got to make sure that I am in control of these things mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physiologically, biologically. These are our 5 internal senses. And so we must be in control of our internal sense of knowing who we are. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, biologically, physiologically. We must be in control of these senses within ourselves. Those ones that we can't see and touch, but we know that they are there. And we make changes to those aspects of ourselves instead of trying to make changes to the outer part of ourselves and try to make changes to how we look to others and try to make changes to how we can please. No. No longer. See, God is speaking right now saying that no longer do you need to worry about who you serve. No longer do you need to worry about who you... I'm saying something again, y'all, today. It's another word today. No longer do you need to worry about who you serve if it doesn't serve you. No longer do you need to worry about who you serve if it does. See, God is not worthy of being served if God doesn't serve us. And so, if God cannot serve us, then what good is it that we serve God? And I remember the Christ, he said, no longer do I call you servants, but I call you friends. And see, when you're no longer called a servant, then you're no longer, watch me, hear me, listen to me, feel me. When you are no longer a servant, you no longer serve the false identity of God, because you are now called a friend of God. And so you no longer serve this false sense of identity of God, the God that we've been taught as kids. We don't serve that God, because see, that's a God you have to serve. But you are no longer called servants any longer. You're called friends. And so your friends don't serve you. You are friends with the one is friends with you. And so therefore the services of each other. But when the script was flipped the other way, it was us doing all the serving. And that's not God. See, God said that you're no longer servants, but I call you friends. And friends serve each other. So we're not servants. We're friends of the Most High. We're friends of the infinite source. We're friends of the infinite, intelligent, everlasting presence. We're friends with the oneness. We're friends with the all. We're friends with the galactical force that creates all of life on this planet. We're friends with the cosmic universe. We're friends with this energy, this mother energy, this motherboard, this mothership energy, Gaia. We're friends with nature. We're friends with everything that we see a part of our lives in our environment. And so therefore, you, beloved, don't have to exist in an old story. You can write a new story and begin to walk in your new story. You can begin to walk in your new story. And as you walk in your new story, as you write your new story, you can walk in it. Because watch me, and we're going to do this meditation in a minute. And this is going to be a part of it. But watch me, I need to hear this prayer. Because see, what I'm praying is petitioning God to move on our behalf. So we thank you, God. We thank you, Most High. We thank you, infinite source. We thank you, Creator. We thank you, our higher self. We thank you. For we do not limit God to a six. See, this is the misconception, and this is where we mess up. We begin to, and God is saying to me, why do we limit God? Why do we limit God to one source? And why don't we expand God so that our minds and our lives and our awareness and our sensibilities are expanded? Why don't we expand God? Expand God into nature. Expand God into the galaxy. Expand God into the clouds. Expand God into the airplanes. Expand God into the pilot flying that airplane. Expand God into the birds you see flying in the air. Expand God into the waves coming into the sea. Expand God into the sun setting below the horizon. Expand God into the grass and the blades of grass coming up from out the soil. Expand God to the seed hanging from the leaf of a tree. Expand God to the bark of the tree. Expand God to the roots of that tree. Expand God to the eyes of a leopard. Expand God to the rotor the rotor of a boat. Expand God everywhere, and therefore you will begin to see God in all things as one thing, moving in this universal energy. I'm telling you, write a new story. So you can stop walking in the old paradigm. Expand God into the food that you eat. Expand God into the flowers that you smell, the fragrance that you sniff. Expand God to the ground you walk on. Expand God into your toes, into your abdomen. Expand God into your chest, into your heart. Expand God into your throat, into your mouth, on your tongue, to your smile, to your eyes, to your nose, to your ears, to your hair, to your fingers. Expand God. And I guarantee you will begin to write a new story about you. You will not live in the old paradigm of the old belief that who you thought you were. You will begin to write a new story. So I'm here to help you write a new story. And we're about to start meditation in 1 second, but I got to say this before we leave the prayer portion of this. And so I want you to know that what I'm speaking should be your prayer. You should be saying, yes, this is my prayer. This is my prayer. I pray this. I'm in agreement with this. This is what you should be saying when I speak. I'm in agreement. This is my prayer. I am one with this. I connect to that. I am with that. I agree. I'm in harmony with that. This is what you should be saying as I pray for you, as I speak to you and through you and in you and for you and as you and with you. You should be saying, yes, I agree. Yes, I'm one with that. And yes, I harmonize with that. Yes, yes, yes. And so I want you to begin to write a new story. Don't be afraid to detach from the old, because it no longer fits you. You must do an overhaul and an exchange of the things that are in your life, because you can't change them. They're no longer. You cannot change what cannot be changed. You can only exchange yourself from the situation, remove yourself from the situation, exchange the environment. But I gotta help you understand something. You just can't get up and go somewhere and think that because you immerse yourself into, you go to Hawaii, you leave the States and go to Hawaii, all things are gonna become new. No, you take you with you. And so, you must change the biosphere. And this is why I do our meditations, so that we can begin to change what's in the biosphere. And we can begin to create an atmosphere, and therefore you will find yourself drawn to Hawaii. You will find yourself drawn to Dominica, in a sense, because I've been there. Or you will find yourself drawn to these beautiful parts of the world, or period, just the beauties of life. You will find yourself drawn to these things, but you got to write a new story to be able to see what happens in the next chapter. Oh my God. If you do not write a new story, then you cannot see what's going to happen in the next chapter. You are steadily staying on one chapter, and therefore the chapter, you're going to keep reading it and reading it and reading it, and you're not going to get any new revelations, because you're not going to read anything new. You're only going to get that of the same that you read. And so the revelations can't happen. A revelation can happen when you come back to the book a year later, but a revelation won't happen in the same sitting on the same page trying to get a new revelation from the story. You got to write a new story to get a new chapter. So we got to remove ourselves and detach ourselves. We got to detach ourselves from the old. We got to detach ourselves from the old and begin to immerse ourselves, submerge ourselves, immerse ourselves, drown ourselves into the new. It's time to get up, get out, and walk in your new story. And I say this, we're about to go into meditation, I promise you. I say this, when you put pen to paper, you are creating, again, an atmosphere of that was in the biosphere. And so your atmosphere has received the words that were on paper. So now your words are out here in the universe. And then once you write your new story and you put it on paper, the universe now has your words. And the universe does something great. It's called attract. There is a law of the universe. One of the laws of the universe is the law of correspondence. That means when you do something, the universe then corresponds. It comes back around to respond to that, to respond to what you put out. And so when you put and write a new story on paper, the universe says, thank you, I'll take that. And then the universe then begins to correspond to that. It begins to, okay, let's alchemize this energy here he put out there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is what he wants. Go ahead and give him that. Okay, and so the universe comes back around. This is now the law of cause and effect. And so we created a cause, and then from that cause, the action happens, an effect happens, and so boom, we write our story, put it on paper. The universe has it. And then now we begin to walk in the biosphere of that which we wrote on paper. We begin to walk in our biosphere because now the atmosphere has our biosphere. The atmosphere has our biosphere because we put it on the paper. And so the universe has our biosphere out here. And so then you begin to walk in the biosphere. You begin to walk in the biosphere, that which you wrote in that which you gave to the atmosphere. And because the atmosphere is truly your biosphere, guess what it's going to do? It's only going to magnetically be drawn back to you, find itself back to you. And so when you begin to walk in the biosphere of that which you gave to the atmosphere, and that which you gave to the atmosphere is truly your biosphere. And so now the universe has you. The universe has you way out here somewhere, helping you receive what you're asking for, so that you can have a head-on collision. When you walk in the biosphere, you begin to have a head-on collision with meeting yourself back in the middle. And you get all that you put out there, because that's all you that you put out there is you. So you're only going to come back around, and the universe is going to come back around to finding you, connecting you back to you, multiplying. There's a scripture in the book in the Bible I read, and I quote the Bible a lot. Why? Because I was a student of it for 10 years, and I read it religiously back to front. But all that changed in 2016, and Awakened became the luminary that I am, and so now I inspire from all aspects, all books of life. But I read in the scripture that if you give God something, God said, I will give it back to you tenfold, 100-fold. And so when you give the universe something, He gives it back to you tenfold, 100-fold. Let's go into meditation already, y'all. We got a few more minutes. I'm not going to shortchange you. I know you got places to go, things to do, but that's not why you come here. You come here to get. So get all that you can, because this is only a limited amount of what you can get when you go into your atmosphere. Let's begin. At the sound of this bell, I want you to just take a deep breath. If you're new to my prayer and meditation series, if you're new, I want to help you connect to the exercise we call rest. It's called rest, R-E-S-T, with the breath. We do this with the breath. And so for new people, I want you to understand what that is. When I say to rest, that means you allow the breath to rise from the ground up. You allow the breath to rise through the nasal. Okay? You let it elevate, slowly, slowly, slowly elevating its way. And then you let it sit at the top of your crown. So it's rise, elevate, sit at the top. And the breath sits in our crown, our chakra, our crown chakra. That conduit connection to God, the infinite source of all things. And so, let's breathe. Let's do that. At the sound of the bell, I want you to go into the rest exercise. long in this meditation today. I promise you, I know I ran the prayer a little longer than I normally wanted to. But be silent right now in your being. And I want you to experience all things beautiful, lovely, and good. Because you got to write a new story, right? It's time for you to write a new story. And so in this meditation, I want you to begin to just go with me. Go with me today. You can go with me. You can go with me. I'm going to tell you where I am, and I want you to get on with me. I am on a bus. And so there's a line waiting to get on the bus, and this is all of you. This is a line waiting to get on the bus. Let's call this bus Greyhound Love. Let's call this bus the bus we call Greyhound Love. Because there is no destination. I want you to understand. All aboard, get on this bus. Relax. And you've been on a bus before, I'm pretty sure of it. Have you ever found yourself lost looking out of the window? And I'm not talking about looking at the world of people, but have you ever found yourself observing the pavement going by? Have you ever found yourself observing the speed of the road? Have you ever found yourself observing the grass in the fields? And I've been on a Greyhound bus many a times. And so this is the Greyhound bus of love, Greyhound Love. And so in this meditation, you're there and you're staring out this window of the greener pastures, of the cows, of the horses at play. This is where I want you to begin to put your focus. As the bus drives through these green pastures, we're on this bus together. And I want you to feel this next part as I create the meditation for you. But now it's time for you to feel this. So take a deep breath in. Let it rise. Let it elevate. Let it sit at the top for a moment. And every time I do this exercise, I get lightheaded. And you're supposed to. So you can feel. And so now you're feeling the joy and the actual sensation of sitting on a bus, actually looking out a window. But as you look out this window and you see cows and you see horses and you see goats and you see whatever other kind of animals you see, what kind of animals, wherever country you're in, and these are the animals that you see. And I want you to see, because every time I drive by or ride by cows and horses, I see no disturbance in their peace. That they are okay with the now. I see no disturbance in their peace. And I always notice this. I always notice this. And you may not have noticed this until I'm mentioning this, and now you begin to notice. You're right. Every time I ride on the bus and I'm riding by these green pastures, I see cows, I see horses, but nothing is truly disturbing their peace. They are okay with the story that they're in right now. Tomorrow writes a new story. And that's the beauty. And so I want you to observe yourself with the peace of these horses and these cows, these cattle. Observe yourself with this peace. Begin to sense this peace. Not the horses. Don't be a horse. Don't become a cow. I'm saying observe the peace and become that peace. This peace in knowing that it's okay to write a new story. It's okay to do an overhaul. It's okay to write a new story. It's okay to close off this chapter. But mainly, it's okay to be at peace with where you are now and write a new story and be at peace with where you are in that then. That's the beauty of the horses grazing in the grass. That's the beauty of the cows laying down side by side, just hanging out. That's the beauty. The beauty is that they are okay with the right now. The peace. Oh my God, it's so overwhelming to me that their peace is so overwhelming. It comes through the bus and attacks my heart in a good way, in a loving way. Their peace attacks my heart in a loving way. They are okay with the right now, and then tomorrow writes a new story. And they are okay with tomorrow's story. Not knowing that the story is going to change, but they're okay in the now. Because tomorrow makes itself now, and they are okay in the now. They are okay with the story they have now, and are okay with the story they have tomorrow. Now. And so I want you to begin to write a new story so that you are okay with it now. And you are okay with if it changes tomorrow. You are okay with it now in that moment. And so you have to have a certain kind of peace. Release your breath if you haven't already. And I may sometimes slip and not tell you to release your breath, but you should only hold your breath for 30 seconds or less. If you can hold it longer, great, but if I don't tell you to release within 15, 20, or 30 seconds, you can begin to release. But I want you to release your breath in today's peace. Release your breath in today's peace. Release your breath. So let's inhale. Let's do our rest. Let's rest. And I like the word rest because it's a metaphor for life in a sense. Rest. So let's rest. Let's rise. Let it elevate. Let it sit at the top of our crown. And begin to say, as you release from the biosphere into your atmosphere, I'm okay with the story. I'm at peace with the story. I am my greatest story. I write a new story. I change the narrative. I accept my new story. Release slowly into the biosphere, that breath. Release slowly into the atmosphere, so that you lay a path of that which is of your biosphere, so you're walking in an atmosphere of that which is your biosphere. I love saying biosphere and atmosphere in my meditation because it gives us a visual connection to what actually happens when we keep an intentional thought connected to our breath. And so you have an intentional thought connected to your breath. And so your breath begins to become intentional every time you breathe. What is the new story you told yourself? Release your breath. Inhale again with me. Take on the peace of the cattle ranch, riding on this bus with me. As you look out and stare out the windows, driving by these ranches and these farms and these cattle, and you're seeing cows all over the place, you're seeing horses all over the place, you're seeing goats all over the place, but you don't see a disturbance in the peace as you ride by these animals are at perfect peace with the now, with their story. And I'm saying that when you write a new story, beloved, be at peace. So you got to take on peace first. Take on the peace, then write the story. Take on the peace, then write the story. So that even if your story changes from day to day, the peace isn't disturbed, the peace isn't removed, the peace is unchangeable. See, this is what we want to be unchangeable. All things must change, but the one thing we don't want to be changed within us is our peace. And so take on the peace first, then write the new story. So that if your story changes today, and then you all of a sudden write a new story tomorrow, I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace with my story today, and I'm at peace with my story tomorrow. So if it changes tomorrow, only thing that changed was the story, but my peace, I'm good. So I want you to take on this peace as you ride by these green pastures, and as you continue to ride through these pastures, and you're seeing whiz by the window horses and cows grazing and drinking and laying down. And the peace that you sense inside of you is only the peace that you sense outside. You ever notice that? You ever notice when you're on a bus and you're riding through these green pastures, and you're seeing horses and you're seeing cows? You don't even correlate and make the connection. But I'm helping you to make the connection now. That when you're riding on the bus and you're staring out the window, all of a sudden this peace comes over you. Peace comes over you. Why? Because you're riding through peace. You're riding through green pastures. You're riding through green pastures. And you're riding through a place where animals are at peace. And so your eyes begin to eat of peace. Your soul begins to drink of peace. And all of a sudden, there's a stillness, a quietness within your soul that comes over you as you stare out the window, not really making the connection and correlating why there's a stillness. You don't even know that you're being still. You don't even know that you're being quiet in that moment, being silenced. But it's not because you just chose to. It's because when you're riding through green pastures, seeing animals grazing, horses playing, no peace being disturbed, and there's a silence and a stillness that comes over you, that's simply because you're riding through peace. And so this meditation helps you recollect back to those moments when you were on buses and that did happen. So that you can now pick back up on that peace and say, yeah, I remember when I was that still, when I was that silent, when I was that quiet, when I was that peaceful. Wow, I had that in me. So I can still be that. I'm going to be that right now. So get the peace first. Get the peace first. Get the peace first. And then write the story. Write a new story, beloved. So that as things come by, as things whiz by your window, you're going to see distractions. Things are going to say, oh, you know, he's doing something. I think I could do that too. And then something else is going to ride by your window. You're going to say, ooh, she's doing that. She's really good at that. I've always knew I can do that and be good at that. I'm going to go do that too. It's okay how many times you change your story. But if you don't have any peace about it, you will always find yourself a failure. You'll always find yourself not doing enough. You're not good enough. You don't have a purpose. If you allow those extremities, those external extremities to take over the peace within. And sometimes we've all been victims of this. We seen somebody doing something, we thought we can do the same thing, and we did it, or we tried it, and we came up with our own ideas and versions of it. And we didn't really succeed at it. But we can't let it, no matter how many times we change the story, we still can't let the failures of those many times we change our stories affect our peace. So we have to have a good peace, a perfect peace. And so I want you to ride on that bus with me as I put you in this meditation and show you that peace. That peace has always been there. And you know what it feels like because you've been in that moment. And so now you can regain and recapture that peace so that you can then write your new story. Write your new story, beloved. Write a new story. Be okay with that. Take another deep breath in. As it rises, as it elevates, and as it sits at the top of our crown, we're thankful for the new story given to us. I wrote a new story on myself. I wrote a new story on me. I'm okay with it. I wrote a new story on me. I am perfectly okay with that story. And I want you to repeat those words. Say, I'm writing a new story on me. I've accepted my new story about me. I'm writing a new story on me. I've accepted a new story about me. Release that breath or relax your shoulders. And just begin to love yourself and accept your new story. The peace is the peace is bountiful. It's all around. It's yours to have. Take on the new peace. That is your story. Get that peace. Get that peace. That is your story. Get that peace. Get that peace. Get that peace. Get that peace that belongs to you. Write your new story. Right now, I shower you in your new story. I shower you with peace in your new story. I shower you with love for your new story. I shower you with the exchanging of your new story. I shower you with the story belonging to you. I shower you with you belonging to the story. I shower you with the acceptance of your new story. I shower you with the admittance of your new story. I shower you with the validation of your new story. I shower you with the updating of your new story. I shower you in your new story. I shower you with the all-encompassing love of God, embracing, engaging, immersing, emerging, submerging itself within your new story. I shower you in your new story. I shower you all up in your new story. I shower your new story. I consecrate you in your new story. I submit you in your new story. That means when you write your new story, it is not final. It's just final right now. It's just the final for right now. But it's not final for eternity. It's not final forever. And so I shower you in your new story. And I shower me. I shower me in my new story. I shower me. I shower me with the acceptance of my new story, with the love of my new story, with the composition of my new story, with the dialogue of my new story, with the communication of my new story, with the journaling of my new story. I told myself, I shower myself in my new story. I shower myself in the biosphere, the acceptance within of my new story. I shower my atmosphere with the walking in of my new story. I shower my environment. I shower my friends around me to accept not me, but themselves in their new story. Because I accept me in my new story. I shower my friends, I shower my loved ones to accept their new story. I shower you all in your new story. I shower you all in your new story. Peace is here. Write a new story. Get peace first. Go into your meditation and get that peace. Make this an exercise today. To find some way, somehow, somewhere that you can get engaged with nature and observe the quietness of nature, the peace of nature, and write your new story there. Combine nature with writing your new story. So your exercise today is get out in nature today. Write your new story there. Don't write it in the midst of chaos and a lot of noise and a lot of infiltrations of news, media, Facebook, and all that other stuff coming in, notifications, music, radio, all that stuff. Get out of the way of the infiltrations coming in, clouding your mind and thinking, and get out in nature. Observe peace so it becomes you, and then write your new story. And be accepting of your new story. Accept your new story. That is the closing bell of our meditation. I want to thank you for being here always. We only have 2 more of these to go. But don't worry, I got something else up my sleeve. It's not going to be a deeper into God prayer meditation series. It's going to be something different though. But still, when you see the live, come in. There's only 2 more of these prayer and meditation, deeper into God prayer and meditation sessions left, series. So be here tomorrow, and then be here early Thursday, because I got to be on a plane to travel Thursday. So I'll tell you that tomorrow, all about that tomorrow. So I want to say this, how I always end. Be well and be light. Ashe, atone, and amen. I love you. I love me. I love us. I'm your luminary, your light guide, your healer, your brother, your friend, your specialist, your mentor, your guru, whatever you want to call me. Whatever you want to call me. Whatever you want to call me.